Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dierig, and alongside me is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Hello, Mary.
Yes, Mary indeed.
Should I be wearing a Christmas hat?
See, so, spoilers, every year for the month of December, I wear a Santa hat for all the podcasts, and it just went by me this year. Just didn't.
Well,
Whatever.
we clearly see where your priorities lie.
I could have brought my Pikachu one.
No. Stephanie, Laurent's not here. He skipped out on us because I spent quality time with the boyfriend.
Same.
Hey man, that shit's important. Stop.
No, it's not.
We all know it's because I'm here. We all know it's because I showed up, okay?
Not important. The two voices you do hear, though, are the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Kiel. Hello.
Soup on a beat like a bowl of chicken noodle. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
You
ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready. I think.
I mean,
we'll see.
You know, it's soon, right? Soon-ish?
Oh, it's March. Are you talking about me being a father? No, we just started the third trimester today.
Soon.
So March.
Anytime.
March.
No, yeah. It could be January, the end of January.
I have a feeling it's going to be. I have a feeling we're going to be cursed with a Valentine's Day baby.
Valentine's Day don't mean nothing. It's fine.
Well, here's the thing. I would like the day that I traditionally spend having alcoholic beverages with my partner and watching the Golden Girls.
It doesn't have to end when you have kids, man.
I understand that, but if it's their birthday, that just
it doesn't have to end.
I mean, probably not till when he's in,
As a parent, you will learn and you will carve a way. It will not be easy. It will not be easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy without a kid. We're both healthcare workers. It's wild out here.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, I forgot about that.
You know what's not easy? Coming up with nicknames for our final guest tonight. You know him from Tower Casuals, the Jotun Toten Vault Dwelling, the Spire Watching, the Cowboy Looting, the Eyes of Tomorrow. My favorite co-host on the Citadel, Mr. Josh Finney.
Thank you. Glad to be back. It's been a long time.
It has. Josh, I was going to save some of those for tomorrow on Tower Casuals, but some of them were too good.
It's okay. We can reuse them. We can recycle names here, Corey.
We can. And technically, this doesn't go out until after Tower Casuals, so just saying.
You're going to look like you're stealing from yourself.
Yeah, I am.
It's okay. Yeah. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time.
Nope. So a couple quick things. This is the last official episode of the year for the Boss Rush podcast. I'm not sure if there's going to be any extra things going on, but for patrons,
I'll find a way to mess with you.
I know, normal listeners. There won't be any episodes between what's Monday's date, the 19th and the 1st, whatever that Monday is after the New Year is when normal podcasting will resume. Everybody's getting a nice break.
Well, the Monday is the 1st, so are you waiting till the 8th?
Are you sure?
Then?
Is Monday the 1st?
Positive.
Or is Monday the 2nd?
Monday's the 1st. I'm almost positive Monday's the 1st.
Or
wait, no, I'm sorry. Monday is the 2nd. I'm thinking of my new schedule, and my Sunday is a Monday. Or my Monday is a Sunday. So
it's okay, Matt. I forgive you.
That's fine.
There was something else I was going to say, but now I forget. But everybody's going to enjoy their holiday. There might be 1 or 2 episodes go up of something, but no normal regular episodes. Also, before we get started, it's Patreon time. I want to thank all of our patrons, all of our Patreon producers. Remember, if you want to support us, you can get early access to all of our shows for just $1, or you can become a Patreon producer for $5, or you can subscribe to the new silver tier, which is our community interaction tier. If you want to vote on Talk the Walk games, if you want to submit questions for our interviews, if you want to do After Dark topics, you can head on over there for that one. Of course, all of our content will remain free, so you can just listen with your ears and be happy. Our Patreon producers for this episode of the Boss Rush podcast are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian Skipper, my wife, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Rebecca Jewell, and a new Patreon producer today. But he's an old friend of ours. An old listener of ours. Matt, you know him.
Don't downplay this person.
I'm not. I'm
Deshaun?
very excited. It is Deshaun. Malone. Our friend Deshaun Malone has
we love Deshaun.
Finally jumped in.
Is he the one that actually suggested that I host one of these shows?
I don't know. Maybe.
That seems like a Deshaun move.
If that's you, Deshaun, I love you.
He also made
he's not wrong.
Laurent host something. So, he just doesn't like me, I guess. He just likes everybody else. It's fine.
Oh, stop.
It's because you host everything, Corey.
I know. I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop, everybody. That's the saying, right?
Don't stop me now.
Deshaun is my brother in advocating for you to not burn yourself out.
It's fine.
I don't know.
You've been doing it for years, Corey.
This is why everybody's getting 2 weeks off.
Uh-huh. Watch, he's still going to record a couple episodes as backup. You're your own worst enemy, but we love you.
I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Although here's the thing though. Since the first week back, we're doing our personal game of the years and our game of the year discussions for this show and Pow Block. So I have a lot of games to catch up on, especially some PlayStation 5 games and some Game Pass games and some Nintendo games. So
yeah, is this your first Boss Rush recording since you got your PS5? So I want to congratulate you for obtaining your PS5.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got it on Friday. Let's see. I got a few things. I got God of War. I got the God of War bundle.
That's all you need.
I ended up getting Death Stranding because it was on sale, and I upgraded my Uncharted games because it was $10 to upgrade those. So I was like, whatever. And then I re-downloaded Horizon because I'd never finished the Frozen Wilds DLC, even though it's my only platinum.
Okay.
Well, you didn't have to do the DLC to get the platinum, so
I know, but I was in the mood to play Horizon because I actually wanted the Horizon bundle and they were out. So Horizon Forbidden West will have to wait till after the holidays. But yeah, so catching up on those games. Also, Stephanie, I downloaded the cat game to see how not mediocre it is because you keep yelling at me because I said
it was mediocre on the air.
Which show did I say that on?
Probably Pow Block, because I don't listen to ones that I'm on. I hate hearing my own voice. It probably was Pow Block. You're like, it's a mediocre game, or maybe it was Crossroads. I can't remember, but I was deeply offended.
Oh, I said no. I said I bet that game's mediocre because everybody on the internet loves cats, and I think that gave it a boost.
Two things can exist at the same time.
Wasn't it nominated for
Best Indie, Best whatever, First Indie?
I don't care.
Game of the Year.
Look, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was nominated for Game of the Year, so I don't pick who wins, okay?
Listen, Corey, there are a lot of cat games out there. As a cat person who's downloaded lots of really crappy cat games.
And a lot of them are terrible. A lot of them are really bad.
All I know is the sequel to one of my favorite games of all time got snubbed in every category again.
Oh, the Horizon?
Yeah.
No, I honestly have not played Horizon, but I was kind of mildly upset. I was like, that seems kind of wrong. I should have maybe best either narrative or even art direction or something. They definitely, because
it needed It needed something.
They got screwed on the first game too.
I know.
Just that year.
I know. Zelda and God of War that year too, right? No.
Yeah,
No.
that's the irony.
No.
God of War was
Zelda
2018.
So
All right, well,
what else
definitely
came out?
Zelda.
It was definitely
Yeah, it was
Zelda.
It was Zelda, but something else came out that year too that
I mean-
beat it out in a couple categories, but I forget.
Oh well, poor
Yeah.
All
Horizon.
I can
Anyways.
immediately think of is Nier Automata, Persona 5.
Persona 5.
Yeah, might have been. By the way, Nier Automata, great game.
Fucking A,
Love
right?
that
It
game.
is.
You want to talk about a great game? Let's talk about Persona for the next hour and a half.
Only an hour and a half. Let's.
Yes, I'll contain
The
myself.
vinyl just arrived the other day. I am happy as a pig in shit. Let me tell you.
Jeez. So all right, yeah. So before we get into our Game Awards talk, we normally don't do news on this show, but there are a couple things that are kind of scratching an itch, I guess you would say.
It's really my
Monster
fault.
Hunter PS5 2023.
Okay, see, at first I got excited because that would have been my personal platform of choice, but then I realized it's still not cross-platform, right? And there's
No,
still
it won't. I don't think this one will be.
Xbox, Game Pass, and PC are all crossplay.
Okay, well that doesn't count. I'm just talking about like, for
It counts
example.
for Xbox and PC players.
Okay, well, for
Which
example,
you are, by the way.
well, I play Monster Hunter on my Steam Deck. Not the ideal way to play Monster Hunter. I am more likely to play games. I hate to say it, on my PS5. I tend to just ping pong between my PlayStation and my Switch. It's kind of my go-between. But why start over? Not that I'm very highly leveled up in my Monster Hunter right now, but like I put all this time and effort.
Stephanie, I'm already getting it. So if you want someone to play with, just hit me up.
On PlayStation?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. When you need a break from... Huh?
I'll explain why I'm there when a little bit later, but yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Okay.
So yeah, what were we talking about?
Oh, news. News. Just first, again, this is like all me and it's all my fault, but
it is.
You guys did talk about it on one of your expansion pass, but Universal Studios Hollywood, we got a date for Super Nintendo World. I thought it was Super Mario World for the longest time, but it's Super Nintendo World. They're opening on February. Oh crap! I wrote the news article and I already can't
February
remember.
17th.
Thank you, February 17th. I'm so excited. I'm taking my son because I can't afford Disney. I realized doing the math, I could not afford Disney. And my son, I told him today and I showed him the trailer. Kid is over the moon. He's so excited to see a real Mario Kart. I'm using a lot of quotes, but
yeah.
I'm like in that SNL skit with Chris Farley. But
this is called a laser.
Yeah, a laser. Yes. So yeah, that's the first thing. I'm very excited. I don't know what it's going to be like. I assume it's going to be kind of tight. I've never been to Universal Studios in Hollywood. I'm hoping there's enough to do.
Well, I think right off the bat, I think there's going to be I think there's 4 rides. I think there's the Yoshi's Island thing. There's the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, which is like I think it's a dark ride. And then there's one other thing that I forget what all's there. I know there's
a Donkey Kong ride that they're building.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer
Isn't that coming later though, or is that coming? Is that opening with it?
It's coming later. They're only gonna have 2 rides that open.
Oh. Well, that's the only downside. I was like, I don't know if that'll occupy us the whole day. But the real question is, would you guys look down upon me if I was probably the most excited for the character meet and greets? Because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get an autograph. I'm gonna get an autographed book and have Mario and Luigi sign it.
If anybody here is going to yuck your yum, Stephanie,
it's Josh.
What? Okay, listen here. Okay. Corey knows the saga of what I was going through when they announced Galaxy's Edge from Disneyland, okay? And how excited I was and the open weeping I did upon walking into the Millennium Falcon. Aww. If anyone is not going to jam your Jerry's, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If anyone comes at you for being happy for your Mario and Luigi autograph, you need to excise them from your life.
Yeah, snip, snip. I don't need such negativity. So,
Yeah.
Sister.
Yeah, so that's that. And then the other news just now is that Sephiroth and Kazuya? Yeah,
The Tekken guy.
the Tekken guy, Kazuya. I just don't know if I said that right. Amiibo will be dropping January 13th. And then there are two other. See, I brought up the news and I don't even have the news ready. I was just excited to talk about the news. Hold on one second. I'm not familiar with these characters. Who's Pyra and Mithra? It's
They're
probably
They're
from
the
some.
Xenoblade
Xenoblade
Chronicles
Chronicles
2.
characters.
Okay, nerds. No, I'm kidding.
Listen! This is a safe space!
No, it's not.
Not if you're gonna raise your voice like that, it's not.
So yeah, sorry. So yes, Sephiroth Kazuya will arrive January 13th, and then Pyra and Mithra will arrive some point in 2023. So that's 4 amiibo for next year. I'm not.
Where's my Sora amiibo?
Everyone's been asking that. You're not the only one, and I don't know.
It'll be the last amiibo released.
It'll be the last amiibo. It'll be $40 because you got to pay the Disney tax.
Yeah. That's they're gonna make it the Disney parks exclusive.
Oh God, no!
Oof.
It's fine. I'll go back.
No,
I will. You think I'm joking, but I will fly down there and get it myself.
Corey will book a plane ticket. We'll both go
Yes.
together to buy toys and sandwiches, and it'll.
Yep.
be
You walk in arm in arm.
We're gonna get some.
You think
blue
you're
milk,
joking,
it's
but we
okay.
will.
Oh no, I know exactly how serious this situation is. I know who I'm talking to. I know what's happening.
This past time that Corey went to Disney is the only time in the history of our friendship that one of us has gone without going within like 2 weeks of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Aww.
It has always worked out coincidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidentally?
And originally, I was supposed to go at the end of October and beginning of November, right around the same time Corey was going.
Yeah.
Well, those are a good time of year to go anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just figured that was kind of breaking, and like I said, I don't really collect a lot of amiibo. The things that I will cave for is anything Zelda related, which I'm mad because when the Zelda Under Loftwing was first announced in pre-orders, I was all upset because the pre-orders were already sold out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll never find it, blah blah blah, and I bought it as soon as it was available. Guess what? Black Friday, I think it was like Best Buy, they were selling it for like $5. I was pissed. So now I'm like,
you should have bought 2 of them and kept them in the box, and then 10 years from now you could have sold them.
when it's $5 now.
Yeah, and then you could have turned around and sold them for like.
Yeah, they're not going to know how much you bought it.
I did
for.
finally buy the Metroid Dread pack after my pre-order got canceled when they were coming out.
Oh, well, see, but here's the thing. So the only one of those 4 that I'm interested in is Sephiroth because he just looks badass. But the problem is, I'm thinking, well, why don't I just wait till next Black Friday? It'll be on sale. But what if it's that one amiibo that really does get sold out and no one ever?
He will sell it. I promise. I'm very glad that I bought my clouds when I did.
Yeah. Plus, I think Nintendo's more likely to reprint Nintendo amiibo and not third-party amiibo. So
okay, all right. Well, I'm keeping an eye out on that. So
they get really stingy as they get towards the end of the line too, apparently, because like the clouds have never made a reappearance, and nor have the other like ones that had Player 2 variants.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Corins are still super hard to find, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and I get hate because mine are in a box. So,
whoops. It's fine. It's all good.
My favorite amiibo is the adult Link from Ocarina of Time, and it was sealed. But then my son saw it and started ripping it open, and I
ripped every last one of mine open.
I know. I open all mine too.
Anyway,
I'm hearing Ed screaming in the distance somewhere.
Yeah,
Ed doesn't have amiibo. Ed doesn't collect them.
That genuinely like floors. Like I'm flabbergasted. I did not even own a Nintendo console when these things started coming out, and I was buying them.
Yeah, well, they're cool though.
It was a $10 way to have Marth and Fox on my shelf.
It's true.
So.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the last amiibo I bought
Sephiroth,
was. I think it might have been the Dread pack. Oh no, I bought one of the Splatoon 3 amiibo.
Oh, which one?
Inkling girl with the bow.
Oh yeah, I have that, and I also have Small Fry because he looks derpy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the news.
Yeah. Breaking news. So, anybody playing anything fun real quick before we jump into the Game Award stuff?
I'll be super
Pentiment
quick.
and High on Life.
Oh, I played some High on Life last night.
Great. It's hilarious.
It's pretty funny, actually. I was like, nah, this game's going to be real dumb. And then I actually
What's
played it
High
through
on
Cloud.
Life?
It's the new Game Pass.
The one
time
where your
exclusive.
weapon talks your ear off.
Yeah.
It's from the creators of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
So it has the exact same like tone of humor. It's like a sassier, not as well made Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, it's I played it through cloud streaming yesterday actually because I just want to see what this is like before I waste time downloading it, and I downloaded it when I was done playing through cloud streaming. So
they make fun of Kotaku, IGN, and Polygon by name in game.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That is cool.
And the first achievement's name is like Fallout doesn't let you do that, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty like tongue in cheek. You have to like that kind of like outlandish, I don't know, toilet humor.
Yeah.
That's fun. And Pentiment is like the most educational game I think I've ever played.
Yeah. That's the Obsidian game, right?
Yeah. It's Josh Sawyer's latest masterpiece. It's really good though. Like it genuinely, like Obsidian doesn't tell a bad story. I've never played a game with a bad story from them. And it's so ridiculously historically accurate. I did not expect to fall in love with an artist in 15th century Germany, but here we are. It's great. Everyone should play it, even if they don't like those kind of games. There is no combat whatsoever. It's all talking. It's really, really well done, though.
Nice. So, what about you, Matt?
So I started Signalis.
Okay.
Or Signalis, or however you say it. It's essentially a pixelated Dead Space, kind of Resident Evil. And I've fought the first boss, and I think this game is really cool. The puzzles in it are very Resident Evil. Like you have to find specific keys, things like that. And essentially the enemies that are around are zombies, and you can choose to engage or stealth around them. And when you leave a room, they do not follow you, which is kind of nice. So it keeps the sci-fi pseudo scary game relatively stress-free for me. But I do think it has a bit of personality, and I'm looking forward to finishing it in time for consideration for my Game of the Year list. Also, I'm still playing Monster Hunter like it's my job. Nothing really new. I mean, like I've done just about everything. I think I have a couple of super high rank bosses to unlock on Switch before I fought everything up to what's included in this title update. And then I've been, for the past few weeks, I've been playing Binding of Isaac again, just super hard. I've been playing it on 3 platforms essentially, so I'm doing what Corey does with Destiny. Or at least
you've been playing Binding of Isaac about as long as we've been playing Destiny.
I've been playing it since before Destiny came out. I was playing it on a browser window on Newgrounds, and then it came to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. I've been playing Binding of Isaac for a long time, and I finally got the new expansion in the past few weeks, and there's local co-op, so Reba and I have been playing it, which is really nice. She likes to sort of fly around the area as a ghost who does not get hit by anything and help me kill stuff. It's absolutely fun. On that note, we pulled out Binding of Isaac the card game again, which was a Kickstarter in 2018. I think you
A
can now
literal
buy
card
it.
game?
Yes.
Yeah, it plays
cool.
like Magic the Gathering Commander
Oh, okay.
as a
Cool,
frame
cool.
of reference. And it's like we decided to play it out of nowhere a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "You're gonna need to teach me this again." I'm like, "Fine, no problem." So we played with like hands, with basically our hands up, and I would start going through like how I would do things, and it started to really sing for her. So we've played like 4 or 5 games of that in the past few weeks, and she is now completely into it. I think I figured out a while back that any sort of physical game with a deck building mechanic is usually going to go over well in our house. So it's really cool that it really made me happy to have a few really wild games of that. Um, if you're interested, it's relatively inexpensive. I think the base game is less than $50, which is nice, especially on video game properties. Kickstarted as board games, some of those get really
Yeah.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And while it plays like a Magic the Gathering, you don't have to buy it like Magic the Gathering. You don't have to buy packs or anything. Everything comes in the box. And a game can last upwards of about an hour if you're going, regular speed. If you're learning, it'll probably be like 90 minutes, but yeah, that's really fun. We had a whole lot of fun doing all of that. So that's me.
Nice.
Awesome.
Stephanie, you played anything fun?
Did I talk about Choo Choo Charles yet?
No, but I saw your name on Zencastr as Choo Choo, so
I didn't change it since my EXP cast recordings.
I was wondering what that is, but okay.
Yeah. You can probably hear more of my ranting detail about Choo Choo Charles because I know we want to get to Game Award stuff soon. So I played Choo Choo Charles when it came out, $20. I paid for that. It was an indie game that I saw on Day of the Devs, and it is literally about a train named Charles that has a clown face and spider legs and eats people. And you are hired to go on this island where Charles is terrorizing the people that live there, and you're tasked to kill it. So you drive around on your own little choo-choo train, and this is what I didn't know until I played it. The whole premise is you must go into 3 mines and collect 3 monster eggs and put the eggs on a shrine to summon Choo Choo Charles to a fight to the death. And you collect scrap metal to upgrade your train, paint, you can paint your train, and you do side missions like finding a pickle jar for the pickle lady.
interesting.
Okay.
And how much did your dealer sell you for this? Because I think I'm gonna need a dose.
I mean, I have a legitimate fear of clowns and I hate horror games, but I
Yeah.
was more so laughing than terrified of this game. If you don't take it seriously, it is kind of a one that you could laugh through, but I just don't know if it was worth the $20. It's a short game. It's 2 to 3 hours. I also watched Markiplier's stream of it, and he had some funny commentary. But it was a weird game. It was really weird.
It kind of sounds like that Futurama episode where Santa Claus is an evil robot,
Mm.
except it's Thomas the Tank Engine. I think
Pretty much is, yeah. It's like an evil
which,
version of it. And you
yeah.
need to murder this bloodthirsty spider train. So,
But now I kind of want to know what's going on with this pickle lady.
Oh man, just like I'm sure there's a clip of it somewhere. Just YouTube, like Pickle Lady from Choo Choo Charles, and whew, you know what, that actress should get Performer of the Year instead of Christopher Judge. That Pickle Lady, I nominate her. It's like my pickles. I can't live without my pickles.
Oh gosh, what is happening? I bet her
So
speech would have been shorter.
yeah. Yeah, dude. But yeah, other than that, playing Pokemon Violet because it's like an addiction and I can't stop even though it's janky as heck. I play a little bit of God of War 2018 because I really want to catch up so I can play Ragnarok. And a little bit of Super Mario Party because my son is making me and he does not understand.
Yeah.
He does not
Boy.
he doesn't understand why he loses.
Nobody does. It's fine. Did
Well,
you tell him
because
that? Did you tell him that nobody understands why they
I
lose at Mario
said
Party?
that's like the least logical competitive game ever. Like we two played with two computers. He was leading, and then at the end when they gave the bonus stars, the two bonus stars went to the CPU, and the
Mm,
CPU won.
mm.
Or CPU, but you know what I mean, CP whatever. Anyway, and he's like, I don't understand. I'm like, you're not meant to understand this. Life lesson: some things just aren't fair and don't make sense.
Oh man, Mario Party's the best.
So, and I made sure we only did 10 turns.
Yeah, that's smart.
So that's what
Guess
I've been
what?
playing.
However long their estimated time tells you, double it.
Double it. And that's the real time.
Yeah. Well, as for me, I'll stick to one game this time. I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. I'm about 6 hours in. So
so you're still at the beginning.
I'm doing the side quests in the dwarf area.
You're still at the beginning.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's more God of War, you know. So I'm sure I have to. I'm like 50 hours from the end, but you know, it's more God of War.
I think my playtime topped out at 34 hours.
Yeah,
and I did probably about 3/4 of the side quests.
Yeah, I just want to. I do this thing where I'll play the game super thoroughly until I'm kind of done with it, and then I'll go to the end. Then I'll just.
I got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. So, it's good. It's good so far. I mean, it's not like blowing me away yet, but the last one didn't really like blow me away either. So, you know, we'll see. But I like it. It's fun.
All right.
The thing is like I want to play God of War before I play Horizon because I know if once I start Horizon, I will not go back to God of War.
Hey, fair enough, man.
So yeah, that's what I played, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the Game Awards. They were they shorter than last year? Because Keeley promised shorter, and it was
like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was my original math was like 20 minutes.
I mean, whatever. It's is what it is. I mean, what do people expect? You know, if you're doing awards and announcements, I mean, how long are the Emmys and Golden Globes and shit? I don't watch that stuff, but I assume it's a couple hours as well.
Yeah,
it's a couple hours, but they actually focus on the awards at those shows.
Yes, that's
true. True.
I kind of wish the Game Awards were like a multi-night event at this point.
So, can I offer a take?
No,
I don't think it needs to be a multi-night event, and I think the length is actually perfectly fine. It feels long because we're watching a gigantic commercial. You cannot call something the Game Awards and be presenting things like best mobile game, best esport, and best family game in the fucking pre-show. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
Yes, curse away.
In the fucking pre-show. And then get up there midway through the ceremony and rattle off, I think it was best action adventure, best horror, best sports/racing, and something else, all like in a, no joke, 45-second soundbite.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
You can't do that and then get upset when people say, you're not remotely close to being the Emmys or the Oscars or the Grammys of video games because it's a joke. You care more about having what is Al Pacino doing at the Game Awards? Like, that's just so far out of left
Hey,
field.
you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there. Al Pacino looked more at home on that stage than what's his face from Community ever did, and he hosted the thing.
He looked fine, and I'm not getting at that. But I'm saying there are plenty of respected actors who have made the jump to voice acting in video games that you could have got. Where's Lance Reddick? Everybody loves Lance. Where's Lance at? He's in like 5 video games a year at this point.
They showed a game he was in, Lightfall.
Okay, I don't care if they showed the game he's in. I'm saying you can have like actual actors there without having to be like, oh look, we got Al Pacino. Oh look, we got the fucking Muppets. I love the Muppets. Is the Game Awards the place for a Muppet? No.
Yes,
yes, they are. Yes, yes.
It so is. It so is.
You've been outvoted.
Look, the Muppets belong anywhere they can be.
I love the Muppets, okay? Except Sam Eagle is a national treasure.
Animal can hide in a box, okay?
Animal can hide in box.
This has become it's become a predictable affair. We're gonna cram the awards into little sound bites, with the exception of best direction, game of the year, music, and like best performance. Those are like the 4 I can remember off the top of my head. We're gonna cram those in. Yeah. We're going to sit here and we're going to critique companies that don't show things here, aka Microsoft. We're going to sit here and get upset that Microsoft didn't show something when the last 3 years all I've heard is you shouldn't be using this as a marketing platform. We're going to promote a bunch of mobile games nobody cares about. Why am I getting commercials for like things like DoorDash in the middle of this? That's kind of weird. If this was on TV, that's one thing. It's a Twitch stream. What are you doing?
Maybe somebody was hungry and they were like, "Oh, I could have food DoorDash to me." That's a good reminder.
It's become predictable. You're going to cram all those into sound bites. You're going to have predictable winners. You're going to have Hideo Kojima's going to show up, and we're all going to fawn over it for whatever reason. And Keighley is going to bring some sort of puppet up there against its will. Like it's become a thing that just. I don't know, and I'm a big defender. I love that Keighley has this passion for wanting to do events in the game sphere. I like that he does the Gamescom stuff. I like that he's starting to do the summer stuff, and I've been a fan of the Game Awards. I'm not a fan of the fact that we're not actually making it about the awards. It's become how many reveals can Jeff Keighley cram into the show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's just when it's like one trailer after another. It's like you're gonna tell me that Jedi Survivor needed the floor at the Game Awards? You're gonna tell me Horizon DLC needed a spot at the Game Awards? Like something like Hades is a little different, I guess, but even that, like Hades won Game of the Year, like from multiple different outlets. It was a finalist at the Game Awards a few years ago. It's just become this thing that like I don't think it needs to be like we measure how good the show is in terms of reveals. Like, no, we don't do that. You don't see us critiquing the Oscars based on what Marvel trailer they showed me for next year. You don't see me at the Grammys going, oh, well, Taylor Swift announced a new album on stage, and that's just, nobody else did. Come on. It's just, we've made it more about the reveals than about the actual awards, and that's really sad for something that wants to be considered in the same breath as these other notable shows. Like, oh, we got Joseph Ferris back to sit there and tell us to fuck the Oscars again. Haha, that was funny 4 years ago when it happened. It's not funny anymore. Now it's just kind of, go away. Just go away. It's kind of annoying. It's the same thing. Like, come on. I don't know. Put the focus back on the awards, Jeff. I love you. You can do better.
The focus has never really been on the awards, as far as I've even when they actually like presented all of them.
Yeah,
never seen. It was always focused on the co-host that Keighley had that absolutely did not want to be there. Like they stole that show. The one, like for instance, Joel McHale, when he hosted, that was the year No Man's Sky was revealed. And the one time during the show where he's just like, video games, was when he saw that, and all of a sudden he realized, oh, wait a minute. It seemed like he realized in real time that this medium can do some interesting things, or it can make you think some interesting things. Granted, a lot of people have thoughts about No Man's Sky's release. We're not going to do that here.
Yeah.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. Like this game needs to be about the awards, or Keeley needs to shorten the name. Instead of calling it the Game Awards, he needs to just only refer to it as TGA, because the Game Awards is as Game Awardy as KFC's chicken is chicken.
Yeah, I had written a editorial about the Game Awards, and I felt like, in a sense, the Game Awards is like a misnomer. If he wants to change it to as more of like a end of year celebration of gaming, I think that would make a lot more sense. Like, we're celebrating games, almost like his summer game fest, but like do one for the winter, and that's where like we're also acknowledging these great games with these awards, and also some trailers for the upcoming year. I think that would make more sense as a celebration than an award show. I think people get really hung up on the wording, and understandably so.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, like a winter game fest would like. I get that people either want just like the award show, or they need to rebrand it somehow, and there's probably some sort of balance where you can do both in a nice, even way. But like, I just feel like every year, and granted, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the awards I don't really care about. I do like to see the announcements, but those are all things I can see on YouTube the next day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna stay up for 4 hours watching this, non-award show to watch the reveals, right? Like I watched a lot of the trailers the next day, and I was like perfectly caught up, and
Yeah.
um, I just think that the Game Awards is like, it's like Stephanie said it, and you guys have already said, it's like it's the wrong term to use if this is what we're gonna do, or if you're gonna make it the Game Awards, make it an award show. I get that you want numbers and it's a business and you got to pay for this thing, but also like it doesn't need to be this big extravagant thing
So
for
I
you
think
to
you
get
just hit the
all
nail on the
these.
head right there, right? Like he wants the numbers because every year within like an hour of it ending, we always get like, oh my god, this was a record-breaking year for us. We screened it in IMAX and on TikTok and all this. Who is paying to watch this in IMAX? First off, second off, like,
have you met gamers?
I don't understand. Yeah, I have. They're the ones who they're the ones who only want trailers. Like,
Exactly.
I think this may be the wrong medium to try and push this on. Like, I think you can do it, and if he would focus on making it more about the awards and less about the flash, like why do we need to rent out a theater where gigantic awards shows go on? The Microsoft Theater in LA has been used for events like the Oscars, and I don't know if the Grammys have been there, but it's been used for big events like that. Like, Jeff, maybe just like stop caring about the celebrity of it all, like the pageantry, like just do the fucking show. Show some reveals during it. Like show a handful of big ones. Pick like 8 reveals to do during it, and that's your commercial breaks. That in between the awards, like while people are getting situated, while you're maybe resetting the stage for a musical performance or something, you show a reveal. There you go.
Or like,
and that's
even
it.
even for something like Best Indie, like show like a highlight reel of some of the indies that are coming out next year.
Why are we not? Yeah, why are we not getting,
right before you like present the award to Best Indie.
Why are
right?
we not getting a montage of like, instead of like an in memoriam? Why are we not getting like this year in indies? You say how much you want to push this industry forward. You need to showcase these other mediums. Like, why not? Here's a highlight of some of the best VR titles of the year, or some of those creative uses of VR technology. There are so many things you could do here. You could highlight, I don't know, like highlight some outstanding art direction, show like a bunch of concept art from some of the games that came out throughout the year, so that way maybe fans will understand that art direction isn't best graphics.
Yeah, thank you.
Because there's been an account that's like, I can't believe Elden Ring won best art direction over God of War and Horizon. It's like, you looked at Elden Ring lately? Yeah. You looked at the architecture in that game? Like, it kind of makes sense. The monster design, etc. Like, I get it. I understand it. Like, it's just... And gamers are a very fickle bunch, right? We like to complain about absolutely everything. So that's not what I'm trying to do here. It's just like, I think that Jeff has the bones of a good show. And this would have been fine if this was the step he was taking in 2018. But he took that step in 2018 and saw, people really like that. And then just has quadrupled down on it.
Well, I think see, here's my take, just as based on just kind of adding on to what you said, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between like games as an industry, and this is on, I am not in the games industry, I just like to play video games, so there's probably going to be a lot of things I am missing. I'll at least leave that open. But as a fan of film and music, and someone who has paid attention to the Oscars and the Grammys and the Golden Globes and the American Music Awards for a time, the difference with games is there's, in film specifically, there are people who watch the Oscars or the Golden Globes to find out what they missed. Like, what came out this year? What should I watch? Then there are also people who like pay attention to film 24/7, very much like we probably pay attention to games, or at least Corey and Stephanie. Well, you as well, Josh. Just because I the one with the least, podcasting, obligation right now. And the crowds that pay attention to music and film splinter off into two equal-sized chunks. The people who like the popular stuff and the people who like the art and indie and underground stuff. With games, 80 to 90% of the fandom are only looking at AAA titles. And because of that, there are plenty of people in that 80 to 90%, and I'm not saying any of them are here, will look at a game like Stray or like Celeste or like, indies that, or even Hades. And Hades, well, you could argue whether or not that's indie, just because I know that Supergiant does have outside money. They're not publishing it themselves 100% of the time. Like, they do have additional funding. As does like Stray, Outer Wilds, Kentucky Route Zero. Like, anybody that's published by Devolver or Annapurna aren't necessarily indies. But the people who are most interested in that stuff probably tune out for the Game Awards, because it's going to be a AAA hit parade, or it is just, like we've said here multiple times, it's a multi-hour long commercial where the awards themselves are an afterthought. It doesn't seem to shine enough of a spotlight on the craft, on the work, on the absolutely rewarding experiences of the prior year. Another thing about games is this is predominantly put on by one dude, whereas the Golden Globes and the Academy Awards are put on by, I say committees, but they're also like associations. They're like guilds, essentially, where people pay to be put in. And there's not one of those for games, except maybe the DICE Awards, because those are all game developers. I think that's all game
DICE
developers
is,
voting.
as far as like an awards show go, DICE is definitely like, I think, should be the more respected. And within the industry, it certainly is. This is definitely more for the pub. I like the comparison you just made there with, like, when you look at the Oscars and the Golden Globes. So, like, the Golden Globes is voted on by the Hollywood Foreign Press, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's basically the Game Awards is the Golden Globes equivalent to the Oscars, or to DICE, if you were going to speak in video game terms. It's funny,
I think DICE is probably the correct comparison, because this
we make fun of the Golden Globes for the shit that they nominate, compared to the Oscars, where it's like, oh well, most of the time, it's at least good quality. It may not be your cup of tea, but it's good quality, right? The Golden Globes, it's like, I don't know about this Elvis movie getting like 8 nominations. I don't know about that.
Sure.
Not sure about that. And that's kind of how I feel when it comes to the Game Awards. Like, you think you hit the nail on the head, where like they're nominating the flashy stuff, and that the Golden Globes tend to do that too. Like, oh, Avatar's not even out, but we're going to nominate this thing for Best Picture and Best Director, right? And entirely feasible happens at the Oscars, right? But like,
sure.
Top Gun Maverick, we're putting it up for Best Picture. Like, all right, let's calm down a little. Like, Top Gun aficionado here, let's calm down a little. And I kind of feel the Game Awards have gotten that way too. Like, and it's also like you go and you nominate like the token indie for Game of the Year, knowing it's going to lose. Yeah. And then, oh, but look at all the awards we gave it. It's the big winner of the night. Yeah, because it won every other indie category.
Yeah.
Like, that's... I don't know. I think you're onto something here, though, where like I would like to see the committee be people that are actually in this industry and not just a handful of like bloggers, YouTubers, and a few like actual journalists that cover the industry. I would like to see it expanded to, let's make our own academy of sorts. Let's invite I don't know, like 150 voice actors, and they get to vote on the voice acting portion. Right? We're going to invite, a conglomerate of game directors and like artists and sound designers and all this and that to like specifically vote on certain categories. But we're going to let everyone who's a part of this voting body is going to get their vote for like best action game or something like that. And then boom, at the top, everyone gets to vote for Game of the Year. Like, indie game, let's let the journalists vote for it, and let's let, heads of studios that are less than 50 people or less than that, or something like that, vote on them. I don't know.
What you're actually doing. Are you familiar? Are any of you familiar with the magazine Sight and Sound?
Yes.
Okay, so Sight and Sound does their greatest movie ever poll, their 100 greatest movie list, every 10 years, and it's done exactly that way. Yeah. Since 1952. Like, they've done that. They do it every 10 years. This is the year it just came out.
They did just put it out like a week ago. Yeah.
And since 1992, they've also done a director's list where the directors vote. And my favorite thing about it is when people react to this, like, how did Sight and Sound pick this particular movie as the greatest of all time when Citizen Kane exists? And I'm like, how they do this. You know exactly how they do this. They're not just and like recently on Twitter, like Sight and Sound has been just saying these were the votes. Like, these people voted this way. So, it's not the problem that you think it is. Maybe it's just a lot of people really, really like it, and the votes went that way this time out. That's sort of the beauty of doing it every 10 years. And have it and changing the pool based on who's actually alive, not just who's in your editing room and able to participate. But yeah, I think that there has to be a better way, or at least a way that seems more respectful of the medium. Because this kind of seems like, for lack of a better term, a dog and pony show. And the awards are, smashed between reveals, or smashed between a Hideo Kojima interview and a flautist losing his mind playing music.
Okay. Or listen, we stand the flute man.
I mean, I'm not no disrespect to the flautist at all. No,
we are part. This podcast is officially part of the flute army. So
fine.
Pro flute.
Happy to be amongst you.
Pro flute guy.
But then, like, and I'm just going to say it with the final award. I'm not going to say who won. But how did anyone not see the Bill Clinton kid coming?
Yeah, that's another issue.
I it's very
I wasn't even going to
obvious.
bring it up, but
It's very obvious that there was someone on that stage that clearly did not belong there. And they were focused, they were close in on people that the award belonged to and could have easily found a way to shuffle him off stage, and no one did.
I think that brings up a whole nother issue, though. Like, I promise I'll stop diverting Corey's topic after this. This brings up the whole question of when we talk about it being like a more professional show. They sell tickets to the general public to come in, watch it. And, like, I think that's, in a way, like, I think that's cool. Like, they're letting people engage, but then it opens the door to weirdos like this.
Yeah.
It opens the door to people who see this as a joke, who see this as like something that's not very serious, something that like, oh, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to, make a fool out of myself. I'm going to get my 15 minutes of fame. And I'm sorry, if you want to be considered a professional show, why were those seats not being given to game developers, like maybe being offered to devs? And I understand not everybody in the world can travel to Los Angeles, but
also the fact that
and then there are also some game dev. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, there are screenshots of where, like, when the FromSoft people stood up, the kid was in the background, so he was like in close proximity. If you insist on having the general public come up, have them, no offense, sit them in like a different area, or have
it's
the
a 10,000 seat theater that they were in, and it's estimated that they sold, like, I think it was like 8,000 tickets, maybe more. That's wild to me. Do this in a smaller theater. If you want to only invite those people, then do it there. Do it in a smaller venue.
That's the thing. Like, part of me like does not want to talk about him because I don't want to give him that fame that he seeks.
Yeah.
But like, it still blows my mind. The kid's like, what, 15? I'm like, you are no offense, like, you're a fucking punk. Like, just. Oh, I don't know. Okay, see, I'll stop there.
But see, then that also goes into like, how do the other award shows do it?
They're professionals.
It's handled by guild or committee, and they're inviting people in said guild or committee. Whatever you think of that, like, also let's be honest, game devs have some pretty nefarious practices, and there are a lot of game devs who probably can't get to this award because they are being exploited by a corporation. Not saying that doesn't happen on the music or film side, but it's pretty obvious in the game sector.
Game Awards, guys. It's
we made it.
Yeah, we did. All right. Well, now that we got done complaining about too many announcements, should we talk about some of our favorite announcements?
Yeah, I didn't.
Wait, they announced games at this?
Like 20 minutes of that.
No, I mean, the first part of the show was supposed to be talking about the awards, and I knew that was going to come up. So
sure, yeah.
I mean, we all know what the show is. It's a show about nothing, right?
Bow, 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 bow.
So,
why don't we talk about our favorite announcements and then go into the awards? At least pay them the respect. Or do you want to do the awards first so they're not an afterthought? Just asking.
Okay, sure. We can do the awards first, I guess.
Okay.
I need a list in front of me. So
it should be pretty quick since I know this. Yeah. It's been talked about for a bit. I mean, I'll just start off with like the indie stuff. I'm clearly a Stray fan, but it won best debut as well as best indie, and I'm like, well, I don't know, couldn't one of them been given to another one, because there actually were a decent amount of high quality indies in my opinion. I loved Sifu. Cult of the Lamb is great.
Amen.
Like several of them are just well deserving.
Tunic is right there, everybody.
Tunic.
Thank you.
Tunic is my runner-up for Game of the Year. It's literally right here, people.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked that Tunic and Vampire Survivors were not there.
Yeah, they're there for best indie. If you had told me that one indie game from this year was going to get nominated for Game of the Year, my pick would have been Tunic. But yeah.
So I'm happy Stray won something. I just figured, oh, did it need to win debut and best? I was just like,
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to get at in my criticism. Like, okay, so it got nominated for Game of the Year, which guarantees it's winning the other indie categories then.
Yeah.
Which feels weird to me. I don't know. In a
Yeah.
year with so many good indies too.
Right.
I'm not saying that Stray isn't. I'm saying that this is like the most competition we've had in a while for something that could have taken it.
Yep, and that's interesting you said that because Matt, you mentioned like the percentages of people that play AAA titles versus the indie type of stuff. It's still that way, but at least we're seeing the quality and types of indie games coming out improve over the years. Like a couple years ago, indies were what? Like maybe a couple would come out a year and almost not a lot, no one would play them. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping maybe they could expand it beyond just best debut and best indie, Like I think we're getting to that point where I don't know, could be acknowledged a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I
I
started
mean,
with.
like Outer Wilds is my favorite game of all time. It came out in 2019, and I've not played anything like that ever, and it got absolutely nothing. I think at the Game Awards.
Hey, can I bring up another one that genuinely shocked me? Not in a bad way or a good way, just neutral shock. And that was Splatoon 3 winning Best Multiplayer.
Oh
I
God, don't.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't surprise me because Splatoon's multiplayer is pretty
That
good.
surprises
It
me.
is, but like a Nintendo winning a
It surprises
multiplayer
me.
game, it's just like it's not. It's
Didn't
very.
Splatoon 2?
It's very ironic.
Splatoon 3 has been a buggy mess since launch, and it still isn't fixed. I love Splatoon 2. I have probably like 150 hours in that game.
Same.
And this game, it basically was broken from day one. Like, I haven't been able to go back to it yet. I got disconnected constantly. I was getting booted from matches. The game was crashing on me. It's bad. It's real.
See, I think I had that, but I think I had it less than you're talking. But that's okay.
We all know how much Nintendo takes care of their online services.
Well, and
that's
the other thing. Like, I'm sorry. I look at best multiplayer game here, and I'm looking at this list, and it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Splatoon 3, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, and Shredder's Revenge. First off, I want to know who voted on this category. I want names. Because if this is the best you came up with this year, maybe we just shouldn't have had this category.
Yeah, why wasn't Destiny on there? I don't play Destiny, but I know that, Destiny had a good year.
It'll be because it's an ongoing game. The same reason you don't see Fortnite or Apex. Yeah.
I see.
That's I think that kind of highlights the point a little bit more, right? Like, I look at this and I go, this is really what we had for multiplayer games this year. Every one of these games, except for Shredder's Revenge, had notable problems at launch or continuing into the weeks after launch. Like, Multiverses is dead now. That game is not being played. It's totally dead. Modern Warfare 2 has the worst UI I've ever seen for a first-person shooter. In the menus,
well, you know who designed you know who they hired to design the UI for that?
Who?
The ex-UI designer for Hulu.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
boy.
okay.
God.
They hired that person because Warzone is essentially going to be a Call of Duty hub now for multiplayer.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to switch in and out.
Itself is it lists the legacy games and everything else.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to like swap through it if you have them installed. So they wanted it to feel more like a streaming service.
I don't know. I look at this and I go, none of these are worthy.
Shredder's Revenge did not have a problem at the beginning.
If Shredder's Revenge is our multiplayer game of the year, we've got to get some better multiplayer out there. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm not
What's wrong with Shredder's Revenge multiplayer?
I'm not denying that it's probably a fun game, but that's the best we're doing in an industry where we're constantly pushing play with your friends. That's the best we're gonna do.
I mean,
that's the best we're gonna do.
Not every year has to have the best thing ever.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like when we're nominating that and Versus for our multiplayer game of the year, we did not have much to nominate. That's what I'm getting.
Sure,
that's not speaking to the quality of it. It's just like
I'll bet you
kidding me.
We have 5 here. I'll bet you they had 15 to choose from.
I also think a lot of the most popular games are ongoing games, right? Like Fortnite and Destiny and Apex.
Absolutely.
And, those are the multiplayer games people are quote unquote really playing are the ongoing ones, right?
Right, and I get that. It's just,
So give the ongoing games probably a bit more respect, and do an ongoing multiplayer too.
Can I ask a really dumb question?
Yeah.
Ask away.
There's no dumb questions here.
When do ongoing games no longer qualify as an ongoing game? Because in theory, wouldn't an ongoing game be forever in that category until
Destiny and
literally
Fortnite
dead?
have been nominated like 5 years in a row.
Okay, I was
so
like,
is WoW. I think WoW was nominated one
Yeah.
year, and it's
18
18 years old at this point.
Yeah, next year Overwatch 2 will get
WoW
pushed to
can
the
vote.
ongoing game category.
I think it's probably when you're no longer like regularly doing title updates for the game.
okay,
Yeah.
So like
okay,
something like Fortnite may not get traditional DLC packs like World of Warcraft or Destiny, but they get seasonal content like 5 times a year.
Yeah.
So
okay. Oh, side note, because I mentioned Indie and Sifu. I got my Sifu Redemption Edition, and here's the statue, and it's pretty awesome, and the little coin things, and
Nice.
and the art book is actually a legit. I'm not gonna pick it up.
Is
it's
it a
too far
real
away.
book, or is it like one of those little square ones that is like 5 pages long?
Okay, so it's not like a full 8.5 by 11, but look at this. It is actually like a book that has.
Oh, it's like the Destiny exotic one, Josh, where you don't have anywhere to put
oh
it.
my god, I still have it over here, Corey. This is the worst shaped book ever.
I know. I hate that shape so
It's
much.
a bad shape, but I still prefer this over like the small dinky dozen-page art books that they will give you in a collection. This actually has substance to it, so that's cool.
Well, I paid real money for this book, so
I
bought this book on its own.
Yeah.
It sticks off my bookshelf. It's really agitating.
Dude,
gotcha.
when they first announced that, I thought it was going to be like the Destiny Grimoire books, and it's not.
I thought it was just going to be like a normal like full page art book, not like we took it and like cut it in half to save paper.
You know what art book, side note, is actually kind of a pain in the ass? It's the Monster Hunter World art book, because I got it as a Christmas present, and that thing is, I could probably
Are you talking about the official complete works?
Yes, I could kill someone with that if I swung it at them, so it was heavy.
It's a beefy boy.
Yeah.
There was an award that I wanted to bring
That's
up.
a chonky boy.
Yeah. All right, what award?
Player's Voice. I want to talk about Player's Voice for a second, because this award underscores why the general public should not be allowed to vote on anything relating to the show. The fact that Genshin Impact and Sonic Frontiers, and I mean that feud has turned like violent.
Gotta go fast.
They are like, those subreddits are on lockdown on Reddit because people are brigading them. Imran Khan had to block his Twitter on his Twitter account, because he basically was like, Sonic Frontiers should not be in this conversation at all when you look at the other games that were up for this award. And he was like legitimately getting threats from Sonic fans.
Dear Lord, what's wrong with people?
Yeah, the internet was a mistake, everybody. You're listening to this podcast on the internet. It was a mistake. This award,
none of us would be.
We're all complicit in this fucked up mess.
Keely has had to go like, well, I'm going to look at it, see if there was any evidence of bots. Like, bro, I'm telling you, in a world where Genshin Impact and Sonic Frontiers are your 2 top vote getters, there was some fucking manipulation behind the scenes. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, Player's Voice is a mistake. You shouldn't allow people to vote for it. Letting Genshin Impact and Sonic Frontiers make the top 5 of anything is horrible. Also, Genshin Impact is totally an ongoing game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
gotta go fast.
Why is it eligible for this?
Gotta go fast, Josh.
No other ongoing game is eligible for this. So why? Yeah. This is weird. This whole award is just weird. And Keely's like, it's not being manipulated by bots. It's totally manipulated by bots. Come on, you got to be kidding me.
I think, didn't Keely actually make a comment about bots? Like, after removing all the bots, here's the winner of the viewers, players, whatever.
Yeah, more like doubling the bots. Like, anyways, I digress. This is why you guys don't get a say in anything, because we can't trust y'all with a voting button. Okay? Sorry. This award show is now a dictatorship that children cannot help decide the outcome of.
Are there... Oh, go ahead, Stephanie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm just making this comparison of our EXP cast. We're a humble little podcast, and Stoy sent out a survey, and we had like over 800 responses, and most of them were bots, and we're just a tiny little podcast. I can only imagine the garbage that they get.
Tiny little bot cast, am I right? Oh,
Whoa!
Are there any of the awards that you thought should not have been in there besides the Gamer Choice ones? I think Best Family Game is a waste, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a very... I don't know if it's a waste. It's a very awkward one, though. Just call it the Best Nintendo Game and be done with it.
Yeah, it just needs to be better defined. And I just hate the fact that was one of the categories that was in the pre-show. I'm like, come on, really?
Yeah. Also, why is Game of the Year Marvel Snap being relegated to the pre-show?
Because it's a mobile game.
Yeah, but Marvel Snap is legitimately better than most of the games out there this year. It's legitimately an amazing mobile game, and I just find that really funny. Like, it has been so talked about for the last 2-3 months that it's been out, and then, well, we're gonna just kind of shoo it off stage here in the pre-show. Like, no, this is not a Sidney Goodman awardee. This is a Jeff Keighley awardee. This is Marvel Snap we're talking about, people. Like, this is a category that had, mind you, Marvel Snap, Apex Legends, Diablo Immortal, and Genshin Impact in it. You're going to tell me that wasn't going to be on the main stage? Really? That's kind of wild to me. Like, if you're going to push the narrative, and Jeff is one of those, that mobile games are games, why is this not being presented with the rest of the, like, best of awards?
Yeah.
That's weird. This isn't best esports coach, okay? Which is also a weird award to give out, but okay. Funny enough, I find the categories that I'm liking the most. We already talked about the indie categories, and I think that's a great way to be exposed to more games. But I love the community support award. It's usually it's another award for best ongoing game, because it's almost the exact same. In fact, it was the exact same nominees, except No Man's Sky got some community support, and Genshin Impact was nominated for ongoing game. And it makes sense. Like, those 4 nominees that we see every single year, Final Fantasy, Apex Legends, Destiny, and Fortnite, really are the best in both of those categories, I think. But No Man's Sky won. I think it won best ongoing last year or year before, something like that. Great game to win it. Like, you look at these games that have continued to be supported, these are really the few that have figured it out. They know what it's about. They know how to communicate with their communities and how to keep the content flowing. I love seeing that, and I like the idea that we're focusing more on the accessibility award. I think is really important also.
100%.
When you look at some of the changes, I think last year was the first year they introduced it, because we were all surprised when Forza won it, because Forza had sign language built into the game, which is just kind of wild to see in a racing game. But you look at these at the games with the accessibility, and it's like, yeah, like each of those, that's great. Like that's great. I love that this category is here. I know some people complain about it, like, it's a drag. Like, no, these are the conversations we should be having at shows like this, where everyone is supposedly watching. This should be raising your awareness of things like indies and accessibility initiatives, and let's praise these games that have great communities and great great community managers and this and that. Like, these are the awards I like seeing. I could care less about the award for where is it, best action game or something. What's the difference between best action game and best action adventure game?
Good question.
Because they're totally different nominees for both, and I have been confused at looking at this. Like, it should just be best action and best adventure. I don't know. I feel like those are totally different categories.
Also surprised that Bayo 3 won one of those.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked at that too. But
I mean, yeah, looking at this list, I would say I would have thought it would be Neon White or Sifu for best action game.
Yeah, I thought a lot of people really loved Neon White when it came out.
I did, until I played more of it, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had that big conversation about Bayonetta 3 a couple weeks ago. So,
has anyone actually played Bayonetta 3?
I haven't played it yet.
No, zero desire.
I haven't played it yet. I will at some point in the next couple weeks because of PAL Block, but I don't really have any like affinity for Bayonetta. I'm glad it exists, but it's just one of those things where like I'm glad it exists and I'm glad people like it, but I just haven't had any real desire to play it.
I will say though, I might try the Origins one that they announced, only because it's more like a genre that I would play.
Yeah.
But that did seem to come out of left field though. I was like, huh, okay, didn't think we
Yeah, that
needed
was
it.
a weird announcement. Also, side tangent, did you see how he's already talking about Bayonetta 4 and how he wants to make like 8 or 9 Bayonetta games?
I don't know if
Let
that's
him.
the franchise to do that, but okay. I
I'm
mean,
like,
if they
well,
think,
I guess if Nintendo's gonna keep writing your checks, I guess you can do that if you want. But I don't know. Whatever. That's fine. Anyways,
I do appreciate when you look at the bigger categories, that there's actually a healthy mix of games that I didn't think would get recognized in some of those, and in particular, Immortality got nominated for both game direction and narrative, and then of course, Plague Tale got nominated for narrative and game of the year. Stray, direction.
Didn't
Game of the
Immortality
Year,
get nominated in
direction.
performance as well?
yes.
Yes, and it should have won. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I love
it
Christopher Judge, but
it 100% should have.
Actually,
Man Engaged should have won.
Since you mentioned the larger categories, God of War won the most, and this is by no means a knock on God of War. Ragnarok, never played it. I'm sure it's very deserving. But do you feel that recency bias is definitely a thing?
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. So I say yes with that certainty, but then I look at Elden Ring winning art direction, game direction, and game of the year. I think it proves that the game can come out at any point in time, and if it's a transcendent experience, like Elden Ring seemed to be for so many players, like everyone I've talked to who has played it and like beaten it all the way through has said it is literally one of, if not the absolute best game they've ever played. And it's coming from people who don't like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro or anything like that. I think that like on the even like on the subject of recency, like we're holding this, and the cutoff date to nominate things is like the beginning of November. And Keeley's explanation has always been, well, it can get nominated the next year. We saw this fiasco with Jedi Fallen Order a couple years ago, which 100% would have won Game of the Year in 2019. 100% would have won it. And it was instead eligible in 2020, which meant it's going up against The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, Demon Souls. It's going up against all these other games, and it was largely forgotten because it came out a full year before. Yeah. You're going to see the same thing happen this year now with Pentiment and Crisis Core. I'm not saying like a Crisis Core have been nominated, but Pentiment got perfects from tons of big outlets. And a game that got perfect scores is going to be completely forgotten in terms of narrative and direction next year.
Especially one that's small.
Yeah, well, one that's small. It was made by 10 people.
Yeah.
At Obsidian as a side project. And, you know, the whole story behind it's fascinating. I encourage everybody to go look into the history of Pentiment getting made. Josh Sawyer, you know, the game director, very well respected. You guys probably know him as the director and lead writer on Fallout New Vegas, the Pillars of Eternity franchise. He was pretty down after Pillars 2 just did not commercially do well. It was before the Microsoft purchase. They didn't know what they were going to do as a studio. Microsoft kind of swoops in and they basically told him, you can do whatever you want. And he had already been working on this briefly in his spare time, and he pitched it, and Phil was like, yeah, we have Game Pass, go ahead. Like, he's been pretty open that he doesn't think this game would exist without the Microsoft acquisition and without Game Pass. And it's a really great story of how this little tiny team made something that's such a big labor of love, and I think has maybe the best cast of characters of the year, and it's going to be completely forgotten.
Yeah.
So it certainly has the best story of any game I played this year. And that's the wildest thing to me is like, oh, we're going to have to ignore it because going back to what Stephanie said about like the AAAs of it all, like it's going to get forgotten because yes, it's coming from a well-known studio, but it's from such a small team. You know, yeah. I don't know how to like reconcile with that. And I think that's something that Jeff needs to be thinking about. Like, you want to be taken more seriously, you have to get everything from that calendar year again.
Yeah.
You need to do your show in like late January or early February or something to make sure that everything from the year gets in.
Yeah, and I think the notion that it's 23, nobody cares about 2022 anymore is such BS at this point.
Nobody has time to consume every piece of media that they want to anymore.
Right.
We have to pick and choose more than ever before because there's more quality than ever before.
Yeah.
I can't watch every show or see every movie I want to. I certainly can't play every game I want to when they're all 50, 60-hour epics like Horizon and Elden Ring and God of War. I talked earlier, God of War was 34 hours. I went into Ragnarok after blowing through Persona 5.
Yeah.
While still having like Destiny stuff ongoing. Corey and I do a Destiny podcast. I gotta play Destiny regularly to keep up with what's going on. It's the end of the season. There's story stuff happening. I play a lot of Fortnite. Fortnite had an whole end of the chapter experience that was happening that I didn't want to miss. And it's like, you have to pick and choose so much now. And those are things that, like, once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
I can't experience that again. Something like God of War is going to be waiting for me. Something like Pentiment is going to be waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a shame when some of the best games out of the year are going to be ignored because people go, well, that came out last year. That's old news. I haven't gotten to The Last of Us Part 2 yet, and it's been 2.5 years. My backlog is that big. Like, when a game comes out, does not dictate its worth to us. It can't be the Andy dropping Woody meme. I don't want to play with you anymore. Like, no. Art is art.
Yeah. Well,
but then you bring up the art thing. A lot of gamers don't consider games art until you start talking shit about their favorite game. So.
Yep. Good point.
Art. Ha.
Art's wild, son.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the announcements that we really enjoyed. Like, I don't know, somewhere between 3 and 5. Just kind of rattle them off. I guess I'll start. I really thought that the Jedi Survivor trailer was cool. They didn't really need Cameron Monaghan to come out with the lightsaber and give this clearly heartfelt speech about the game, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, but I thought the trailer looked cool. I'm really excited. I really like that first game. And the fact that there's like dismemberment and different fighting styles now and different, there's they showed off the double saber, which was cool. Like, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for this game.
Yeah, I mean, Fallen Order is one of like the 4 best Star Wars games ever made, probably.
Yeah.
So, and it's certainly the best one in like the last 15 years. So,
you mean you didn't enjoy Super Bombad Racing, Josh?
I did not enjoy Super Bombad Racing, Corey. I did not enjoy Episode 1 Racer, if you want to hear a really hot take.
Ooh.
This just in, Josh has no soul.
I was 6 years old, and I wanted to punt that game across the room on Christmas morning.
Did you play it on Nintendo 64 or Dreamcast, Josh?
I did play it on Nintendo 64.
Oh, see, that's your problem. You should have played it on Dreamcast. You could see more than 5 feet in front of you. I'm just kidding. That game was, man. Ugh, that's rough.
I got something in my eye.
Yeah.
Dang. My favorite. I mean, we all know I love Star Wars, but Hades 2, man.
Yes.
The squeal that left my mouth. Hades 2. I did not expect in my wildest dreams to get another Hades game.
I don't think anyone saw that coming.
So this is based on
and I don't think we have
Witchcraft,
platforms confirmed for it either. It's probably coming straight to PC first. I imagine.
They'll probably do early access again.
Yeah, if you go to their website, I think it says they're going early access for a little while before they
Windows early access in 2023, and they plan to port it to consoles.
Yeah,
I will build a PC just to play this game.
So,
and that's not a joke.
Here's the thing with Hades. For me, I got to it very late because I don't like roguelikes. I don't. It's not my kind of thing. But it came to Game Pass a while back, right? And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And you know what? It is really like the most user-friendly roguelike for those that don't typically play it. Now, I'm not in love with that. I kind of like Dead Cells a little bit more, but I liked it enough. In fact, I recently purchased Hades for my Switch because it's on sale for half off. So, like, as soon as I saw Hades 2, I went and bought Hades for Switch. So, like, I'm definitely on Team Hades. When I saw Hades 2, I was like, I'm going to commit now. Now, with that being said, I've obviously never finished Hades. So, Josh, I don't know if you did.
I did.
Does
I did too.
the end, without spoiling it, like, did it like leave room for a sequel? Does
I
if that
think
makes
there
sense?
was I think there was always room for it, but I personally would not have I still wouldn't have expected it.
Okay.
Personally.
Well, this is a new character in a new time period, right? Technically.
Yes.
I think the mythology is a little bit. I mean, it's like a different sect of Greek mythology.
Yeah, but it has to do with
that-
like witchcraft, though, right? Like that's like the big draw this time. It seems like.
Yeah, it'll probably deal with, instead of like dealing with the underworld, it'll probably deal with like the fates a little bit more in
Oh,
terms of
okay.
Greek mythology.
Yeah.
So I'm like the more mystic side of it is kind of the vibe I got from the trailer and the key art.
Yeah.
I am very, very excited for this.
Gotcha.
This is going to be my most played game next year, probably.
I'm in love with the art style.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I bought
And
Hades
Zagreus
on Switch.
is just such a good character.
Mhm.
I bought Hades on Switch and never played it.
You should play it. Corey, you know where I played mine? I played mine on my iPhone with my Backbone.
Through
It was
Game
great.
Pass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love this game.
The
My
Backbone's
Backbone's right here.
The Backbone is such a good controller.
Yeah. Matt, what did you like?
Mine's also here.
Nice.
So, I mean, I do like mechs. I've never played an Armored Core game, so Armored Core
Yes!
did did pique my interest.
I thought you were going to talk about Death Stranding 2 with mechs.
So
kidding.
Death Stranding, as I remember, I think this was probably still on Nerds Gone Rogue. I talked a lot of shit about Death Stranding.
We all did at one point, though, right?
I mean, but then when I played it, it left a very good impression on me. I never actually went back to it because I played less than 15 hours. I know I played more than 10. So I will probably go back and play Death Stranding and then think about that. You know, Kojima can make a good looking trailer. That's not new. But the ones that really piqued my interest were Armored Core, of course, Hades 2, sequel to my game of the year it came out. Judas. I've been interested to see what the BioShock guy could do since BioShock. I know that
more BioShock.
I mean, it looks like more BioShock, but I kind of want to see, you know, has he learned anything since BioShock Infinite? Because that'll be the question there. Remnant from the Ashes was one of my games of the year. It came out. I think it was third on my list. And a sequel to that game. That game is really fun. You get 3 people together, you can have a good ass time.
Yeah.
There's there's procedural generation in it, but it's not really a roguelike. It's actually a pretty good execution on a Souls-like with procedural generation, but the procedural generation is not near as punishing. It's like a roguelike. And then the people who made Celeste, their next game, Earthblade, because Celeste was my game of the year it came out too. So I'm very interested in all of those.
Nice. They showed a new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. I'm like all on board for Final Fantasy 16. I think that game looks awesome. What was the other thing?
Diablo 4.
Yeah, Diablo 4.
That was a sick trailer.
Yeah. Look,
I've been in on Diablo 4 for years. I'm just ready to have it now.
Dude, I mean that trailer, like, and to offload a CG trailer that like good looking after like all the previews came out the day before. just kind of felt like Blizzard was maybe this is a never mind, I'm not going to use that term because of everything that's going on at Blizzard. I was going to say flop their big old dick on the table, but probably shouldn't say that.
We have credible evidence that literally happened
with the
yeah, that's true.
But man, that trailer, they know how to make a big budget trailer, man. Diablo 4 looks really cool.
I had two other ones real fast. Baldur's Gate 3 continues to just be like one of the most exciting games that I may never get to play.
Is it not coming to console?
Not currently. It will eventually, but they had the timed exclusivity with Stadia as a console.
Well, so that ends on the 18th, so
we don't know. Well, we don't know what's going on that side of things right now, but it certainly will not be on consoles at launch. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They don't have enough time to pivot that. I would expect it in 2024, but again, we talk about like me wanting a PC. This and Hades are going to get me to get a PC next year. I'm going to spare everybody talking about the Lightfall trailer because if you haven't played Destiny recently, a lot of that probably made no sense whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, it was so good
glorious. Though. It was glorious. I can grapple on the back of a Titan. I'm very excited for it.
Grapple yeets.
Grapple yeets.
A1 Johnny's probably going nuts right now.
He
grapple
was
yeets. My
nuts.
favorite.
He was messaging me in real time when it was happening. That's how I knew the trailer had aired. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, thunder yeets with a hunter grappling," and it's everything I've ever wanted in this game. So that's glorious. Some beautiful artwork was shown of presumably it kind of looks like the Winter Wars Garden from the Destiny lore.
Yeah,
that was really exciting there towards the end. The voiceovers. The thing that may have shocked me the most, though, was the trailer for the Cyberpunk DLC with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I could not believe that. First off, I mean, Keanu was back for it, and then they got Idris.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. I have been a Cyberpunk truther since it came out. I enjoyed it. I miraculously got through without too glitchy of a game.
You played on Series X, though, right?
I played on Series X.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't have any issues. I think it crashed on me one time, but
I had some issues the first day, and then they released the emergency patch, and I was fine after that.
Yeah,
but no, I'm totally here for the DLC. I love Night City. I love the world they created here. Very excited to see what they do, especially after Edge Runners. I think there's a lot of renewed interest in the IP, and that makes me excited. I like the tabletop RPG of Cyberpunk from Mike Pondsmith. And I think that this is going to continue like his vision and his legacy for this. I hope they brought him back in to consult on it like they did on the base game.
Yeah.
But yes, very excited. This is going to be awesome. I want some more references to the Edge Runners crew. I want a few of those guys to show up.
Yeah. Stephanie, you got it? Oh. Sorry. I was going to ask if you had any other things.
You guys covered the things that I enjoyed. Hades 2, Earthblade, and even Death Stranding 2. I didn't play the first game. I have no interest to, but just, trailer got me. We'll see. But what I want to note, and it's not necessarily that I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it will be, and nor am I necessarily hyped for it. But I don't know. The one with Chuck Norris in it.
Oh my gosh.
Crime Boss.
Crime Boss?
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of batshit looking.
It really is. So I just felt like it's worth bringing up, like them just pulling in all these big names, and again,
Chuck Norris, Vanilla Ice, and Danny Glover going into rob Crime Boss it up.
Yeah, those three. Woo!
Somewhere, someone is saying, "I'm too old for this shit."
I hope he says it in the game. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, someone's gonna say it.
Yeah,
it's like an obligation.
That would be funny. I bet he says it.
But that was it. That was the only other additional thing I wanted to mention.
Nobody's excited for Transformers Reactivate.
I want to see what kind of game it is first.
Man, I mean,
yeah,
I've been burned too many times by Transformers games.
Can we just get like a nice re-release of War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, or like a game in that vein?
So you've heard the rumor about Transformers games, right? There's two in development.
Yeah.
There's the one that we got at the Game Awards, There's supposedly a second one that Certain Affinity was working on at some point in the past.
Yeah, I know.
If they make a Transformers game, now I'm intrigued. You have my attention.
Yeah.
Because they know how to make some good maps.
Yeah. Man, I just Fall of Cybertron, man. What a great game. The game was
Transformers, what a great franchise.
Yeah, did you side tangent. You saw the Beast Wars movie trailer, right, Josh?
I did. The night that we did Tower Castles with Andre, he was like, "Oh my god, you have to watch this." So I promised him I would watch it immediately after.
Yeah. It seems
Optimus Primal.
Yeah, seems all right. Seems
I mean, it certainly can't be worse.
Yeah. It seems
Hold my beer.
No.
We had Optimus and the Knights of the Round Table in the 5th one, I think. So it literally cannot get any worse.
I didn't see the 5th one. All I know is
I didn't either.
Look, the first Mark Wahlberg movie is literally one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I sat through three Sam Witwicky movies, and I can't do any more. So
this is a person who defends the first and the third movie as being
the first Transformers is a great popcorn flick, and I will hear no discussion otherwise.
But God damn, Mark! I think I've had a Transformer. Huh, guys, look at this, guys.
You know who does a really good Shia LaBeouf voice is Joe Wilson.
Yeah, well, he's good at a lot of.
He doesn't do Shia. He does Optimus. He bought an Optimus Prime voice changing helmet.
Oh god!
And sent Nerd and I a video of him. It's like, Samuel Witwicky, put the cube in my chest. It's great. It's great. I want to make it my new ringtone.
Oh my gosh. Do we want to hit on anything else at the Game Awards before we wrap it up here?
Best adaptation was a really great category.
Yeah, good news.
I'm glad that it exists now.
Yeah,
you have to.
Good news. I mean, the next
worthy nominees, all of them were worthy nominees except for Uncharted. That movie's awful.
No, Uncharted was fun.
Okay, so I said that I had fun when I saw Uncharted, and then I remembered that I had multiple drinks during it. At a midday matinee, so I don't know how good it really was. Wow. My girlfriend remembered liking it, though, so I did buy it for her for Christmas.
Ooh.
So that might be my New Year's Eve watch, and
it's on Netflix.
Not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're suckers for physical media in this house. I've gotten paranoid.
Fair. All right, well, good times. I'm sure The Last of Us will win next year. Certainly won't be Halo. Master Cheeks, am I right?
Oh.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. Remember, this is the last episode of the year, everybody. So enjoy your holiday, enjoy your new year. Be safe, be happy. Matt, Josh, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Happy to.
For that Laron guy. Jerk. Just kidding. Matt, where can we find you?
I mean, you'll never find me with as much muscles as Laron. I'll just say that right here and now. You can find me at infinite_rewind on Twitter. You can also find me on cohost.org/infinite-rewind because they don't allow underscores.
Gross.
I'm trying to do a lot of my posting social media stuff there because Twitter sucks. Also, you can find me hosting co-hosting a few other podcasts. See what I did there? One is called Trivial Merit. My friend Caroline and I, we basically try and make playlists to get us from a good mood or a negative mood to a positive mood using 8 songs of a particular artist or theme. We recently recorded Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Next up is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yes.
Then you can also find me talking movies with my buddy Jesse. That show's called Freereeling It. We recently watched The Prestige. The next thing we are doing is not actually a movie. We are going to talk about the Sight and Sound list that came out, our reactions, and just kind of have a discussion about it. Not really a response or like a, hey, this list sucks because I don't like doing that. And then the third place you can find me, or the third podcast you can find me co-hosting, is called the Bald Gun Guy Podcast, where Scanline Media has invited me to go through the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy, one level at a time. 6 entire wonderful Scanline Media rules. Support them any way you can. Check out their shows. They do a lot of great things. But if you want to find me, Bald Gun Guy Podcast. Gun Guy Pod on Twitter.
Josh?
You can find me on Twitter at Josh_Finn, 2 N's, and every Friday morning on a brand new episode of Tower Casuals with Corey.
Yes.
If you like Destiny and you like good sandwich talk, come listen to Tower Casuals.
Sandwiches. Sandwich casuals, as we say.
Love a sandwich.
I am craving a Cubano.
Oh, God, I could go for a good Cubano. I could go for a banh mi right now, too.
You guys are making me hungry. Stephanie?
Where? What? Who?
What do I do?
Twitter, Instagram, at Klimov, KLIMOV_author. Boss Rush Podcast, After Dark, EXP Cast. I will also be making a guest appearance in a future Dinosaur Machines podcast episode, which we will be talking about Tunic, so stay tuned. I don't know
Hell yeah.
We're recording that next week, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with those guys. And find my articles on bossrush.net.
And you can find me at I am Corey HC on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on Nintendo Power Block, on Tower Casuals, on Expansion Pass, and plenty of other things here. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next year, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.